Prime-time local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Eric Bay has an update from Council, including more information on the future of the Lloydminster Cultural and Science Centre.
City Council will not grant second reading to bylaw number 12/2020, which would see aesthetic shops placed under discretionary uses in the medium industrial district. A local business owner had hoped to open a shop by renting an area in the medium industrial district, but council was not comfortable setting that precedent.
Well, I would say that the petition, the nature, it was provided by the planning department, the definition of what the bowling alley fits into, and I believe it was an interior, indoor recreational type sporting event that would be completely isolated from the outside. From that perspective, the petition is totally different. I can't even. From my perspective, I can't compare the two from that perspective. So I think that was the big difference that council looked at.
The Lloydminster Cultural and Science Centre was brought before council once again yesterday, and since the last time it was discussed at council, more leaks have been found at the building.
Certainly the challenge we've got is the building is not getting any newer, and as it was outlined, there's a $5.4 million price tag to rehabilitate the existing 1996 structure out of all those structures that are connected to a usable full-time format. And I think that's the discussion that council's having, is trying to determine where is the best place to put what money. And I think that there's a series of questions there. How much money do we spend today into the future so that we can actually get to that 10-year target that we've had from that perspective, to try and secure a permanent home for what would be known as today the Lloyd Cultural and Science Centre, the Bar Colony Museum. There's so many terms that have been used over a number of times. And this is a very interesting matter, because this has been worked on for over 11 years by the previous councils.
A report brought forward by administration suggested that the artifacts housed by the LCSC be moved to multiple locations around the city, including the Service Sports Centre. The entire cost of the move, which would include renovations to the Service Sports Centre, would cost $452,000.
That's what's been proposed by administration. So that as the motion was carried to receive that for information, that'll be discussed further with administration and drilled down to ensure that is the question that's on council's mind. Total cost for both options, and ensuring the long-term. We've got an annual budget. There'll be a number fixed from administration, I believe, coming forward from what I sense from council, so that the whole overall picture can be seen, because there's implications in 2020, there's implications in 2021, as there would be depending which option is chosen by council.
The city awarded a contract on its data center refresh and enterprise backup software to Powerland Computers Limited. While the bid was $20,000 more than the cheapest bid, the mayor says it's not a straightforward cost assessment.
When you're looking at something that the computer hardware software upgrade that we were looking at for the backup, it takes more than simply the price, because there's multiple stages and pieces to that puzzle. And I appreciate administration shared how they had valued certain items, and certainly with it being the second lowest tender, they had to score quite high on the other pieces to reach the overall score that they reached. So I appreciate administration looking at that, because price is one piece of the puzzle, but when you have multiple service components and pieces to it, and in this case software and support, that is also a big part of it.
The evaluation includes system architecture and design, and implementation approach and timelines. Eric Bay, Primetime Local News.
I'm joined here with Constable Michael Hagel with the Lloydminster RCMP, and first of all, we'll talk about some of the tips the RCMP wanted to remind residents, starting with fraudulent online scams. What are some tips that you really want to tell people?
If it's too good to be true, it probably is. If someone's offering you more cash than your product's worth, asking you to send more money or money back to them, it's probably a scam.
And in the release, there was information about asking questions and meeting at a public location. Can you talk a bit about that?
Absolutely. It's always safer for you to meet in a public location, nice, well-lit, well-protected area. Like I said in my release, I don't mind people come down to the RCMP attachment and conduct Kijiji transactions here. It's safer for you as a buyer, and it's safer for you as a seller.
And also people, they might think that someone wants them to pay them with gift cards or pay them with prepaid cards, that type of stuff. What would you say to them as well?
I'd strongly recommend against gift cards and prepaid credit cards. Simply the fact you don't really know what the balance is. Yeah, there could be a receipt attached to it that says worth 20 bucks, but it might have 5 cents on it. It's better to deal in cash or email transfers from a service you trust.
And you said, again, like asking a lot of questions and, seeing the item before you actually purchase. Why does the RCMP really want to remind people that they actually need to see the item and really talk with the people that they might be selling with?
We've had lots of frauds and lots of files involving these kind of scams. So what they'll do is they'll post, the scammer will post a big ticket item online, say some furniture. And you're interested in buying a new couch, you'll send this person an email, say, hey, I'm interested in your couch. And the scammer will say, okay, for 20 bucks, I'll hold it for you. So you're saying you're 20 bucks in, suddenly the scammer goes no contact, you're out 20 bucks, you don't have the big ticket item.
And you also advised against paying with checks. Can you talk a bit about that?
Absolutely. Sometimes a scammer will use a check that's from a stolen bank account, or perhaps a check's not real. The banks in Canada are required to have those funds readily available to you. So you deposit the check in the ATM, the cash is readily available to you, but that doesn't mean the check is cleared. In a few days, once the bank has determined that check is fraudulent, they're going to retract all that money, plus you're going to assign some NSF fees for the check.
And then there was also tips about if people are buying used cell phones. What are some of the bigger tips that you guys recommend?
Check it over first. Make sure you're looking at the cell phone itself. Make sure you're checking the IEMI number, which is available by pound 0660 pound, I believe. And that will get you the IEMEI number, which you can go onto the websites. You can Google how to find it. It'll tell you if that phone's been stolen or reported lost.
And if someone is looking at online marketplaces or Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace, what would you say are some of the hints that prove that it may be a scam?
Just be aware. Like I said, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. If someone's selling a big ticket item for really cheap and they're not really from the area, probably a scam. If you're selling a big ticket item, you're selling a couch, and someone from a different area, someone from Ontario, let's say, sends you an email and says, hey, I'm interested in your couch. Can I send you a check? Very likely it's a scam.
And also, you guys also sent out a release about summer bike safety. And I know you wanted to remind kids, especially now with the pandemic and the summer weather, what are some tips that you would give for biking?
Make sure you are paying attention to cars. A lot of drivers are not watching for bikes yet. What's important is you as a cyclist are keeping your head up and you're checking out for those cars so they don't cause an accident.
And for parents or maybe people who are looking after kids that they aren't aware that kids do require helmets?
Yeah, everyone at the age of 18 in the city of Lloydminster is required to wear a helmet. I've seen a young fellow ride his bicycle, helmet on his handlebars. What good is the point? Why are you even taking your helmet with you? Put it on your head.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us, Constable Hagel.
Thank you.
I'm joined here with Kent Weir from Weir Veterinary Services. Thanks for taking some time to talk to me today.
Yeah, you betcha.
So I just wanted to start off with just how you guys are doing things right now. What kind of protocols do you guys have in place for people who are coming into the clinic?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, obviously we have the very obvious protocols coming in, increased use of hand sanitizer, increased use of masks, and just trying to be super, super clean in between patients, which we always do, but we're just trying to increase that a little bit, daily wipe downs, hourly wipe downs on some things, just, which is, I think, pretty standard for most businesses. I guess maybe what's slightly different, and maybe not even that different, is that we're doing, I guess, something that a lot of businesses and veterinary clinics are calling curbside veterinary medicine, which essentially means that we're still offering most of our services, but we aren't allowing people to come in with their pets, so to say. So essentially, it would work. You show up with your dog or your cat or your guinea pig or your rabbit, whatever it might be, and you kind of notify us, let us know you're here. The veterinarian would go over kind of a history over the phone with you, and then bring the patient in. If there was any questions regarding, something we find on the physical exam or the blood work, x-rays, those sort of things, then we'd reach back out to you again in the parking lot and kind of go over some options and that sort of thing. So, I mean, that's the basics of it. But essentially, yeah, it's not having people in the clinic, which has been really, really different for us, quite truthfully. It's been a challenge, but I think we've adjusted to it now. So.
And then you talked about that you guys offer most services. Is there any services that right now you guys aren't able to offer?
I mean, we're definitely trying to see the more urgent things right now, just because this process is taking so much more time than it normally would, with you just coming in, having a transaction within an exam room over a counter. And so certainly we're trying not to book as many of those, basic wellness checks, nail trims, those type of things that maybe, can be pushed off to next week, sort of thing. We're trying to limit the number we do of those per day, that will allow us to leave some more spots open to see more urgent care type things.
And then also, as more businesses start to open up and provide services maybe more in person, are you guys looking at possibly doing that down the road, or are you guys going to stay in this?
Yeah. It's honestly, it's such a good question, and a question that I wish I had a proper answer for. At this point, honestly, we've adjusted to doing business this way right now. And I think for us to try and modify again, to do it only certain people are allowed in the clinic, or only certain types of cases are allowed in the clinic, or if you're picking up medications, you're allowed in the clinic, but if you're here with a pet, not allowed. Like, I feel like, conveying your plan to the clients has probably been the biggest challenge, right? Is explaining to people what we're doing, how we're doing it. And so I do think there are ways that we could probably easily operate with allowing certain types of appointments in the clinic or that sort of thing, but relaying that information to the people outside and keeping that all straight gets a little blurry. And so I think for us at this point, our plan is just to kind of keep doing what we're doing for another couple weeks, and reassess in a couple weeks, just kind of seeing where we're at with cases in Saskatchewan, Alberta, Lloydminster. And I've kind of put it out to the staff, just saying, hey, like, what would make you comfortable, or what measures or results do you need to see before you're feeling comfortable having people come in the clinic? And so, yeah, we're just going to kind of play it out for another couple weeks here. Like I say, we've adjusted to this new way. To try and switch it up again just for a couple weeks until things are totally back to normal seems like a lot of work. And so I think at this point, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing for a couple more weeks.
And when it comes to when you guys first made this change and stuff, and now after a few, I guess, months that you guys have been operating this kind of way,
yeah,
what people's reactions been like? So at first, was there more of a learning curve, and now people are kind of getting into how the groove?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like anything. You're going to get kind of that varied reaction, and I would say probably like 98% of people are just totally fine with it. Lots of people saying, thank you for doing this so that I'm able to still come to your clinic and get care for my pet, but not feel like I'm putting myself at risk. There's some people who I've said, hey, we really like this, like just hanging out and not being stressed out with our pets in the clinic. So we'd like to keep going this way. And then with everything, you're going to have the odd person that just, has a really hard time letting their pet come in the clinic without them, and they just don't like that, So yeah, and even the large animal clients have been really great about it. Lots of farmers and whatnot who probably do feel a bit more uncomfortable leaving the farm and coming into town, and so they're quite content just to sit in their vehicles and wait for their medications or whatever it might be. So yeah, no, overall the reception has been just amazing, and I can't thank our clients enough for being understanding, and the staff too, for just in the early stages. It was like every second day I felt like I was readjusting the plan and trying to explain to the staff what we're going to do, and so it was stressful for everybody in the early stages, and now we've just kind of settled into it. But yeah, like I said, the reception has been amazing on all fronts, really.
And then if someone wants to come to you guys to use your services, how are they able to get in touch with you? Is phoning the best way?
Yeah, I mean, we have not quite a few. We have a few different ways you could do it. You could definitely check out our website at wearevet.com, and there's a contact thing at the bottom of that there. Certainly Nadine and Danielle would love to hear from you up at the front there. The phones are ringing a lot here, and so sometimes it rings a few times right now, but yeah, we've got people who are ready to answer the phones all the time, and yeah, we'd love to hear from you if you need our services at this point.
Perfect. Thanks for taking some time to talk with me today.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Hi, welcome back everybody. We're joined with Zoe from the SPCA this week. She's filling in for Becca at the moment. How are you doing today, Zoe?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thanks for asking. And who do we got here today? Who are we showing off?
This here is Miss April. She came into the shelter back in February. She was quite pregnant, so she did give birth to some kittens, raised them up, and now she's looking for her forever home as well.
Oh, nice. So all of her kittens are all adopted now? Am I to understand that? Beautiful. Well, that's good to hear. And so how is she, like, as far as personality-wise? Is she rather rambunctious? Is she more of like a lap cat, or?
Yeah, she's still young at heart. I would say she still has quite a bit of personality. She does enjoy being a lap cat, but of course she would like to adventure as well. She goes crazy for catnip. She's a very catnip-oriented cat.
And socially, how is she? Like, do you know how she is around, say, like kids or dogs or other cats? Like, does she get along with everybody, does it seem like?
Yeah, so she gets along with all sorts of humans. We haven't found a cat friend that she likes so far. She doesn't seem to care for many friends in the animal kingdom, but humans she's definitely a love bug towards.
Nice. And how are you guys doing for dogs right now as well? Do you guys have anything new in? Are you guys, how are you doing as far as that goes?
Yeah, we're not doing too bad. Right now we're probably what I would consider full on dogs, but we do have a few booked for surgeries this week, and hopefully we'll find their forever homes.
Beautiful. And I know things are crazy these days, but does the SPCA have any plans this summer as far as, like, say, fundraisers or events goes? Like, is there any discussions right now?
Not as of yet. Right now we're just waiting for the go-ahead, with the city and the museum when they open up to get places where we can set up.
Beautiful. Okay. And just for the people at home, so say somebody wants to come in and take a look at April, maybe get to meet her, get to know her a little bit. How do they go about doing that right now? I know with limited hours, all over the city and stuff like that. How do they go about doing that? Do they make an appointment, or?
Yeah, for sure. So right now we are booking by appointment. So we're taking appointments from 12 to 5. And yeah, you can just let us know who you're interested in, and we can have everything ready for you when you come in.
Beautiful. And are there any special requirements or anything like that? Or, as far as, some places are requiring masks and gloves. Are you guys doing anything like that, or how does it work?
No, we do have hand sanitizer on hand at all of the desks and stuff. So, of course, just hand sanitizing when you touch anything.
Yeah, just
keep things cleanly.
Yeah, just keeping everything disinfected, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thanks for joining us once again, Zoe. It was great to meet April, and we'll be seeing you again next week then.
Sounds good. We'll see you then.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Manage your waste and recyclables with Quick Pick Waste Disposal. 100% locally owned and proud to serve and support the communities we call home. Quick Pick, the convenient solution to avoid pollution.
Joining me today is Lloydminster Bobcats head coach and GM Nigel Dubé. Nigel, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Nigel, you guys had your distance family fun run on this past weekend on Saturday. Obviously the weather wasn't quite in your guys' favor, but how did that turn out?
You know what? It was amazing overall. We had 326 people participate in it and raised $3,740 to divide up to those three programs. So, it was amazing. I did my run and going through town and stuff, and there's some Bobcats hoodies on and whatnot, and just see people out getting active and smiling. I think that's the ultimate goal too as well, and it was pretty cool to see.
And I saw through your guys' Instagram and Facebook, a lot of different players also joined in. How important is that for you guys? I know we've talked about it, throughout this past year about how big you guys are in the community. How does that sort of just, cement you guys in there?
Well, I think it was, the big thing of that is there's guys from all over, Kinnenberg down in Lethbridge and the Jungworth family down in Minnesota and everywhere across that. And the guys signed up originally first, and then it was kind of how it all transitioned too as well. Their families signed up, and the next thing you know, we got pictures of the whole families. And the biggest thing we want to do is we want to get back. We're an active member in the community. The community provides us a place, and with all of our sponsors and fans and everything like that, we get to do what we love. So it's an opportunity for us to give back, and it was a way to do it during these times.
Now, Nigel, some hopefully happy news coming up in the near future as Saskatchewan and Alberta are both starting to open up. Is there any chance of you guys having a potential spring camp coming soon?
Well, we still listen for the updates from Hockey Canada, and those are going to fall down to Hockey Alberta. And, again, being in the border city, it's got its uniqueness to us. So I'm sure that I know for a fact our name's been brought up a few times with the rink on the Saskatchewan side and our office on the Alberta side. So we're going to continue to do our part in the social distance in hopes that we can get back. But as of right now, we're just, waiting to get updated, but kind of follow suit as well.
Now, Nigel, even with the potential of June 8th coming and fitness centers opening up again, how does that change the offseason look for Bobcats players?
Well, I think for our guys, you look around and like a guy like Matthew Swanson that he works out with Huxley and those guys there, and they're outdoors right now and starting the outdoor process of it. And then for them to get back into the gym full time, and a lot of our guys right now are doing what they can to stay active at home. And I don't think it ever has the same feel that it does when you're around, you're competing with other guys when you're doing your foot speeds and all those kind of things. So to get back into a gym, in the groups of 6 or whatever the new regulations will be, I think it just gets everybody back going. And at the same side, the mental side of it, you kind of get back to the normalcy of what June would look like in a regular season.
Now, in just under a month's time in Phase 4, indoor recreational facilities will be opening in Saskatchewan. Is there a chance that even if it's an unofficial skate that the Bobcats could be having skates or whatnot?
No, we won't be doing anything until we get the word from Hockey Canada. To get try though, Evan, but yeah, no, it's like anybody, we're excited that people are doing the right things in Alberta and Saskatchewan across Canada. To move the stages, and when you watch the news and kind of those updates, and the other part too is that we're coming up on June, right? And that's the way we look at it as a group. We're optimistic. We're into June. Things are progressing right. And if anything, we'll be hopeful for maybe a camp or something similar to the end of July, start of August. But anytime that we can just move things forward and progress in the right way, it's just helpful that and optimistic that, come fall time, we'll be back to a regular season.
Yeah, and regular season is still a couple months away. So I feel like As long as AJHL fans have their hockey come the fall, they'll be happy.
Well, that's just it. I'm remaining optimistic, positive. Every word that you want, a descriptive word, to stay positive that we're going in the right direction to get things back going. And like anybody, get some live sports going and whatnot when it allows will be pretty cool.
Well, Nigel, I appreciate you taking this time. It's always a pleasure having you on.
Thanks, Evan.